Okay, Monday, 31st of March, 2025. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Money Monday, Bitcoin and everything else. Bitcoin dips, but fiat dips forever. Bitcoin dips are temporary, but fiat dips are permanent. So the market price of Bitcoin in fiat terms will go up and down, left and right, wherever it wants to go. Okay, all-time highs, higher lows, usual stuff. It goes all over the place. The principle there to consider, keeping you sane in the market, is when in doubt, zoom out. Look at the overall trend and the direction. And the further the time horizon, and the further out you look in the charts, not just one day, 1 month, 1 year, 1 decade, the direction, the trend, remember and understand the trend is your friend, the direction becomes incredibly and increasingly clear. Just goes that way, basically. Fair enough. I did a video about this. He with the longest time horizon wins. Now, it's worth understanding then. So that's a statement. Very nice. Then we look at this statement here. Fiat dips forever. The first principle to understand there is inflation. Fractional reserve lending, quantitative easing, and who knows what else, or the chicanery and rehypothecation behind the scenes, that is increasing the supply, the existence of more pounds and dollars and notes and euros, whatever else in existence, creating them through the banking system or printing them, quite literally out of printing them in general. Meaning, the more there are of them in existence, the less each one individually buys, i.e. inflation. Okay, so the first principle there to understand is fiat is dipping, is melting away in perpetuity, forever, because the system is built, is designed to be printed and created and come into existence, printed. So therefore, when you follow the logic, fiat is going to go down in price, i.e. again, inflation. So it dips. It dips slowly, gradually, comfortably, 2%, 1%, 3%, barely noticeable changes. And if you follow the rule of 72, and you take 2%, 72 divided by the interest, or in this case, the inflation rate, 2%, 3%, whatever, that's the half-life. That's how long it will take for the money to be cut in half in terms of purchasing power. 32%, so 35 years, 36 or so years. That means that in 2 generations, that money, the purchasing power of that is cut in half. And when you really follow that logic, anything that's got an inflation rate of anything not zero means it will be cut in half eventually, depending on the market price as well. So it's a bit more complicated, but it's okay. So fiat dips forever. It's melting ice cube, as Michael Saylor famously said. Fair enough. Now the opposite to that is we can see these market sentiments, and that's what they are, truly market sentiments, fear and greed. The market's essentially a swing between fear and greed constantly, any one moment. So Bitcoin dips. The price dips, up and down, swings and roundabouts, all over the place. However, there's one thing to consider with that. As a first principle, the price is what you pay, value is what you get. Just because Bitcoin goes down 8%, 10%, whatever, doesn't mean the product, the actual value, the properties of it are any different. So for example, understand, there's in a supermarket, an apple. Take an apple is normally £1, let's say. But today it's on discount for 50p, so a 50% discount. But, okay, so the apple, £1 and then 50p, so 50%. But has the nutritional value changed in the apple? No, it's still the same. Marginally, within reason, practically speaking, to the naked eye, it's the same. Fair enough. But the price is cut in half. Yet the value is still the same. So price is what you pay, value is what you get. The thing could be the same, but the price can be all over the place. Same with Bitcoin dipping. The value it provides, money you can earn, money you can spend, apolitical, decentralized, through the fixed supply, and censorship resistant. Still the same. Those things haven't deteriorated when the price moves. It's still the same, it's fixed. That's important to understand fundamentally in the market. The price can do whatever it wants, but the product's still the same. That's important, like an anchoring point to understand. It helps you keep logic and sane in the market. Fair enough. But also, Bitcoin dips because the sentiment of the time. Traders, here on the 5-minute chart, 10-minute chart, over the counter, day chart, intraday, you name it. Again, when in doubt, zoom out. So, but we know as fundamentally and as a first principle, the product is still the same. It hasn't changed. The supply, the limit hasn't changed just because the prices have gone down 5, 10, 20, you name it, percent. So Bitcoin dips are temporary. Why? Because as more people understand the fundamentals, the first principles, the technology behind, the value proposition behind Bitcoin, because it's still the same, mathematically, still the same. As I said before, Bitcoin is basically maths, computer science, code, and physics. As it stays the same, well, because it stays the same, and more people learn about it, education, vlogs, videos, podcasts, you name it, the more they're going to recognize the value of those propositions, those first principles, and buy it because they want a piece of that. They want that in their life. They think that is superior by a magnitude of 10 than what's over here. Again, 0 to 1 principle. People aren't going to consider things if it's marginally different. But if it's 10 times better, why even bother with this? If it's got unlimited money supply and over here it's got a fixed of 21 million. Imagine a container, a bucket that can only go to a certain size, but fiat, it goes on forever. But the bucket here is a fixed size, so to speak. Very important. So dips are temporary because the market sentiment and swings. But the product stays the same, the value proposition stays the same. And as more people go into it, where's the price going to go? Which direction? Up into right into the, when in doubt, zoom out. Look at the price of Bitcoin on a 15-year chart, a 10-year chart, 5-year chart, 9-year chart, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year chart. And the pattern, the direction is increasingly clear, and it's consistently clear. Fair enough, because the adoption is increasing. Adoption increases, more people want a piece of the action to get those values in their own life, the first principles. They want to apply them into their life. Now, because also fundamentally as a first principle, there's 21 million over here of Bitcoin, that means that it's demand, supply and demand basically. If supply stays the same, let's keep it simple. Supply stays the same, 21 million, and it's fixed forever. 0% inflation. What did I say earlier about the rule of 72? 0% inflation, because no more being created. Arguably, you could argue it's negative because things are being lost, going to burn wallets, but that's a whole other conversation. 21 million fixed, 0% growth. As in no more being issued, but the demand increases. Why? People watch videos, people watch podcasts, read books. Fair enough. And they understand the first principles. Because remember, no matter where the price goes, the first principles are the same. What does that mean? Which way is the price going to go? And over the long term? Over the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years, what's going to happen? Well, you tell me. And again, remember, he with the longest time horizon wins. He with the longest time horizon wins. I did a video about this as well, actually. Somewhat unexpected benefits of being on a Bitcoin standard. Very interesting. So understand that fundamentally, Bitcoin dips are temporary. The market sentiment here, there, wherever. But fiat dips are forever, slowly, gradually melting away. 2%, 3% inflation. Again, rule of 72. Interest, also the opposite in inflation. How long it takes something to be cut in half. 2% inflation. 72 divided by 2, 36. So over 36 years, that's 2 generations. The purchasing power gets cut in half. 1 generation being 22 years. So yeah, just under 2 generations. That's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So Bitcoin dips are temporary, market sentiment. Fiat dips forever. There's all maths. Quantitative easing, fractional reserve lending. Again, remember, Bitcoin fundamentally, as a first principle, understand that Bitcoin is just maths, computer science, code, and physics. Physics in the realms of the mining, the energy needed, moving atoms, shifting atoms to create more. Powerful stuff. Powerful, powerful stuff. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.